in British Columbia has dreams where she's Guinevere from King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. She goes through past life regression therapy and finds out that she's been Guinevere in a past life. What on earth, I thought to myself when Laurel Phelan's publicist called me. But my job as an interviewer is to keep an open mind, which is what I did. And you know what? She had me convinced. The pursuit of Guinevere, how many years was that?
How many years was that? It's been 14 years.
Wow. When did you first have an inkling that you were Guinevere in a past life?
I was 21, and I started having nightmares, violent nightmares of walking down this sort of hazy, smoky fort. It was like a wooden fortification, brandishing the knife in my hand and lurking in the shadows, and hearing footsteps and feeling very anxious and very excited, very exhilarated. And then this man would walk by, tall man, beard, very gruff looking, and I would jump out with my blade and stab him in the back of the neck. And then I hit again, and this dream was recurring over and over again, almost every second night. And another man would come down the hall, and he would bend down over the other one, and I would jump on him and stab him in the back. Ooh. And then he threw me off to the wall, and I got winded. And he lashed out at my leg, and then I would wake up, and I'd be in sweats, and my heart beating, and all emotional, and I didn't like what I was experiencing because I seemed to enjoy that feeling. And of course, at the time, I was 21. I wanted to be an opera singer. I was starting to study opera. I was a bookkeeper's secretary, and I was learning about meditation. And the last thing I wanted to believe was that I could possibly enjoy killing somebody.
And this just happened out of the blue?
Just happened out of the blue. And it started recurring every other night. And I started feeling nauseous. I couldn't work, and I wasn't sleeping, you know, because I didn't want to go to sleep. I was afraid I was going to have this dream again, and it was always the same one. So I, at that time, thought, maybe it has something to do with past life, because I already knew about past life regression. I'd had one regression about a year earlier to heal my insomnia.
Right.
And so I decided to regress myself. I had learned through self-hypnosis the year earlier how to regress myself, and I thought I'll just see if it has anything to do with past life.
Were you afraid?
I wasn't afraid because I knew about past life regression. I knew if you go into something you're not ready for, you just open your eyes, you just come out of it. You can't get stuck in something by any means.
How does one go back? Do you go into a trance?
You do. You go into what's self-hypnosis. When we're talking right now, we're in what's called beta brain state. Our brain waves are functioning on a beta level. When you relax your body, just like you feel before you're going to sleep, you move into alpha theta brain state. Okay. Your brain waves are slowed down, you're very relaxed, and you've moved from your left brain awareness into your right brain. Left is the intellect and logic, right is the intuitive and memory. So it's very easy, self-hypnosis. You can go into it really easily.
It's a matter of relaxing
everything? And feeling.
Okay.
Feeling the body rather than thinking about it. That's where some people get hung up on regression, because they think about relaxing rather than actually feeling the body relaxing. That's the key. And often there's a little bit of a sign when you've gone into alpha theta. You get a little twitch. Ah. You've ever had that just when you're about to fall asleep?
Yes,
suddenly your body twitches.
Yeah.
You're going into alpha theta at that stage,
okay.
And that's a clue.
So the first time you put yourself into a trance, how did you know that you were in fact Guinevere?
I actually didn't at first. When I first went into the regression, I went right back to that scene I had in my dream. And I only gave my mind the suggestion that I'm going into a possible lifetime the same as my dream, if there is a lifetime, because I didn't know at that point if it was a lifetime or just a recurring dream.
Right.
But it was a lifetime, and I was in the body again, and it was even more vivid in the regression because it's very real in a regression, more so than a dream even. And I went through the same scene again. And then at the end, when I was thrown against the wall and I was winded, this woman came running down this hallway calling Guinevere and asking me if I was all right. And I moved myself a little forward in time. You can just move your mind forward. And I was hearing someone talking to this man called Arthur. And I came out of the regression and thought, wait a minute.
Oh, that would be pretty.
And then I thought, no, that can't be the same, because it was Guinevere I was hearing, not Guinevere. And I thought, no, that's just a coincidence that, you know, Arthur, Guinevere, of course, everybody's heard of the myth. And I thought then, well, it can't be the same thing, because what I was seeing was dirty, smelly wooden forts, basic clothing, you know, small swords, nothing like the image of castles and gold and knights in shining armor and all
As
that.
in the
Nothing
children's
like that.
book.
Yeah,
Yes,
and in all the
yeah.
myth and legend,
Yeah.
the Knights of the Round Table and that. I wasn't seeing anything like that. So I thought, it's not the same. Maybe the names happen to be the same, but I didn't piece or at all think it was the same people as the myth.
The people within your past life transgression, were they speaking in Gaelic?
No, when you're in a
Celtic?
regression, it's automatically translated into your language. You can bring forward some language. I did bring forward some Latin from the wedding ceremony, and but it has to be translated into your mind. It was very archaic, though, and I had to modernize it a fair bit for the book.